Today is June 27th, 2020. I'm going to do a quick garden review. First on the COVID-19 or the Wuhan virus update. There were 5 Democratic governors who gave orders that their COVID-19 sick patients had to be put into nursing homes. And now people, and those 5 states now represent 50% of all the nursing home deaths nationwide. So people are investigating that to determine, well, it looks like manslaughter or whatever you'd call that, but it's not a good thing. The second thing is that now with all the extra testing, it's showing that 99.7% of people who get the virus recover, and it's not near the, it's not near the threat that it's being made out. And so just be aware of that. We don't have to live in fear. This is all about presidential politics. They want, the Democrats want to be able to have mail-in voting so that they can steal votes. It's that simple. And now the president has been warning that China may use the same type of paper and printers and mail in the votes for us. They have all the data. I mean, they've been stealing our personal data, and I'm sure they have the voter rolls. So anyway, it's a real danger that there may be a lot of election tampering if we don't do, if we don't come in with IDs and stuff. Okay, well, that's the things I wanted to mention. In the garden, finally, we've got a big rain. Everything is nice out. We had some hard rain early this morning, and so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Much out in the greenhouse, you can see I still have the garlic just drying like that. It's been hot this week, so I actually should come and probably cut it up, cut off the stalks and things soon. Look at this. Now this sweet potato, look at that. That's ready to be planted out. Now that's how they're supposed to set out stems and stuff. That's what's supposed to happen with the sweet potatoes, but a lot quicker than what has been with me. Anyway, beggars can't be choosy. So I've got maybe 2 or 3 that look like they can be planted out. So you can see how much water is in that container. So looks like we got at least a ½ inch, I guess, plus. So here we are. Now the corn. Now this corn, look how tall it is, but look over there. That corn is starting to really start. And the okra, now take a look at how big the okra looks. Now, from this point forward, every day that okra is going to really put on bulk. At least that's normally how it happens. I've got, I catch the roof water, and this one was empty. I had used up all my rainwater because it's been so dry. And I'm letting this fill up. I think we're going to get some more rain. So I'll fill this up, and then I'll turn off that valve, and that way I'll be able to save a little more rainwater. So I need to keep an eye on that. It's getting full. Now, I've got some tomatoes coming on, but I haven't actually had that many ripe tomatoes yet. Just a few, a handful. And you can see how these tomato vines are starting to really grow. I feel like I'm in a rainforest a little bit. Look at that. So I've got one tomato that's starting to ripen. Mustards. I got so much mustard seed all over the place. If you need some mustard seed. You can see how the corn is starting to come on. Now what you do is, if you have just a few things of corn, you get the pollen. You just go like that. Of course, I've done this already. But here, let's look at this one. You see all that pollen coming off? And then you just take it and rub your hands up on You see, you just rub your hands on the hair of the corn and help pollinate it. Now, it should do that naturally. It's so dense in there. I shouldn't really have to do that. You can see how things are falling over. Those onions don't like all this heat. They're not that big, really. So I may leave them till the fall. Who knows? Or I'll pick them as I want them. Now the peas are pretty much over. Either I need to plant another set of peas, or either I just need to clean it out and plant something else. So we'll see what I do. You can see the weeds. I got a healthy crop of weeds everywhere. I've done a little weeding, but not much, not that much lately. So lettuce, that's one of the best things I have in the garden, is this is a volunteer lettuce. So some of my lettuce seed from last year spread around. I got a few volunteer. Mint, volunteer mint. This is catnip. Trouble is I don't need this much catnip, and if I don't do something soon, it's going to reseed again my whole garden with catnip, and I'm going to have a ton of it. Not basil. Brussels sprouts. I haven't had any fruit yet, but the plant's looking healthy. Kale. Every now and then I'll come and grab some kale. Now, I'm not sure how kale does in hot weather, so it may be soon, but it's been doing okay so far. And of course, the pole beans, you can see that they've now reached the top. So these beans will produce all the way through the fall. So here in a little bit, I'm going to get beans and then more beans and more beans, I believe. So you can see the water. Now, I'm now thinking about possibly that greenhouse I keep talking about. I think I need to do it in the front here. So I may put it right in here. We'll see. I keep talking about it. Trouble is I can't envision it in the back underneath the trees. I mean, it's a greenhouse. So you can see how this watermelon likes this situation. Lots of sun, it can go up. Now these are diamond, black diamond watermelon, so they'll be small, round ones. Well, they'll be big enough. I'll have to bag them to keep them from breaking the vine. But when you see that, and well, that's not too bad a spot for it, I don't think. Otherwise, I could take it, and you see where the peas are over there, I could just, well, it'd be hard. But if it was over there where the peas were, then it could go on those wires and those fencing. That's what it did last year. Look at this. Now this is where I dug up the potatoes, about 8.5 pounds in here. Now I went ahead and planted a few more tomatoes out, and that's either a cucumber or another cucumber vine. But look, can you see that? That's a sweet potato, and the other sweet potato, they both are surviving. So I've got 2 sweet potatoes, and I guess that one in there, I guess I can just plant it over here, or either I can plant it in a pot. I don't know if you guys, is it better to plant sweet potatoes in a 5-gallon, 8-gallon bucket type thing? If you have an opinion on that, let me know. Now look, I did have to, man, I am so surprised how thick the butternut squash vines are. I mean, these are thick vines. I mean, last year I don't think my vines were anywhere near as thick as that. So I grabbed the vines and put it up in my cages. And you can see how this vine was going crazy. You see how I pulled it back over and over. But that's something else. So I've got a few little butternuts starting. Can you see that guy right there? Can you see that one? And then the flower. But I have a few of the little squash started. I have some yellow squash, I got some flowers, there's a couple little ones in there. I don't really see anything there. Another butternut squash. I'm going to have so much butternut squash. I do have a yellow squash over here. Let me show you. That guy needs to get picked. Can you see him? So I'm surprised I don't have more tomatoes yet. But here in a couple weeks I'm going to have so many tomatoes, I believe, Lord willing. Of course, I haven't been watering it that much. And it's been very, very dry. And look at that. So these guys are, it looks like I should have tied this, given this a little more support. I mean, it's just pushed into the ground about 4 inches. It's pushed into the ground one tie, that much. So you can see it's not really enough support. But this one is supported with these 2 posts and a very strong hog wire, half of a hog wire fence. Look at that. Can you see those? Cucumbers. I wanted to show you these guys before I picked them. So I got a few cucumbers there, and I do have a couple of those melons. Now I don't know. Let's see. Where are they? You see them? That's a silver lime. There's 2 of them right there. And then there's another one starting right there. So I've never had those before. I'm not sure what they should look like when they're ripe. But I know they're supposed to be small, so anyway, there's a couple. I've got a few, and you can see the vines. I let these guys come out into the grass because I've got the cucumbers all over the fencing. I didn't plant these, I planted these guys out away from the fence too. And you can see some of the onions are looking very nice. Look at that. Can you see that? How big he is? And I understand when the onions are starting pretty much out of the ground that they're pretty much ready to be picked. When they start totally bursting out of the ground. So I could pick these, and you guys, of course, when they fall over, that can be picked. Now, this year I've really gone after the onion greens, the tops. So I like them. I like those a lot in my cooking and my salads. Okay, that's how things are looking. I haven't picked in a few days. Look at that. Oh, looks like that guy should have been picked for sure. He's turning yellow. That's not good. They'll be a little bit bitter. So there's a handful, I don't know, 10 cucumbers there. And the flowers. I did plant some of my zinnias out, and then some zinnias that I had planted earlier, or either they came up on their own. So they're starting to look nice. And you can see how the grass needs to get mowed. And mustard seed. I've got so much curly mustard. A bit crazy. So here we are in the backyard. Here's another one of those early silver lime melons. The vine, there's a itty bitty one. This one isn't doing it doesn't have near the sun as the front yard. Has a bit of sun. Anyway, it's a healthy vine, but the melons aren't really there. Now, I do like the way these cucumbers are finally getting up to the top of the trellis. It looks like the one from the center reached up. Well, that's what happened. And you can see the cucumbers need to get picked. You see how he was reached up there? Now that cucumber will be on my peach tree. I'll have vines in the peach tree here in a second. So I have to cut that peach tree back again. And I think that little plum tree over there, I never get fruit. I think I may just end up cutting the whole tree down. So that's what's happening here. There's still a couple of peppers in there I need to pick. So I should pick some peppers and cucumbers. Look at that. That's a big guy. And the basil's coming on. Now this watermelon, look at that vine, starting to grow. So here in a bit I'll start to get little melons, or big melons. So that's what's happening here. Now the okra actually, you can see where I planted more peppers. So I've got peppers and melons. Now that's another little silver melon. Lime, I guess, silver lime. And you can see the okra's not doing too bad. I did come and planted some of my things that really needed to get planted out here. Now the thing about the backyard is we don't get as much sun as the front. So these guys will grow, I just don't know how fast. So that's how things are looking here. I think that's, so I did a few cantaloupe vines right there. So we'll see if they take off. Well, I don't see any fruit. I see some flowers for the pumpkin. But anyway, like I said, I haven't been watering back here. So these guys have hadn't, and you can see how the weeds are coming back. I haven't done too much back in here. Maybe a few weeds I pulled, not much. See, that's a weed. Plenty to be done if I come back here to play. This should be full of squash, but you don't really see very much at all. I think I had one squash so far from back here, and that was a yellow squash. But we'll see. I'm looking. A lot of leaves. You can see that little zucchini. We'll see if it is able to grow or if it goes by the wayside. See, this was where I think I got my yellow squash. There's a couple little ones. The corn is growing, but I don't, like I said, I haven't been watering, so the corn is kind of growing. You know, we'll see if this produces anything to speak of. Hopefully it will. Anyway, it's fun to see things growing back here.